let's say I write a song and you dig it, you think, well, actually, this song really has maybe commercial potential. You could buy not just the, kind of the NFT of the song, but we could structure it so like the intellectual property and the royalties, the streaming royalties are actually part of that NFT. As it merges with these NFTs, as you get some sort of, guarantees of things like royalties, that's another way where, you can really commoditize, things like royalties. And in the end, it's a big win for creators because it's just another way to connect and make money.
And see, this is something that I was thinking on my way here, because I also play music. It's a side gig and it's for fun and everything. And you would really hear from people, like not even the top artists in the world, like the days where the Beatles could just not tour and live off royalties, those days are pretty much over. Like Spotify doesn't pay you that much for streaming. YouTube also is not the source of income that it could be for artists, for musicians. And no one would even try and make a case that it makes sense to try and sell your music digitally, right? Like we all saw how that went down in like the early 2000s. So
Yep.
it looks like that sort of revenue stream is pretty much gone. And now with NFTs, there's a way to make it easier. And I'm not going to go and defend Metallica here. Like if anyone remembers that whole scandal back in the day.
Napster, yeah.
yeah. I'm not gonna go and try and defend them, but for the little guy, it makes sense that there is now a way to sell your music, but also to have a way to make the sale itself be a representation of your community and your following. And that is something that you touch on the report, right? This concept that if there is a finite number of NFTs, then a community member or a fan is really showing their support and getting something back from showing their support by purchasing, right?
Right. Yeah. And another example you just reminded me of along these lines is, you're talking about just how music has changed, and really a lot of more established or even up and coming bands and artists and DJs will rely on touring, assuming there's no pandemic, that's been at least a potentially reliable way to make money. Even that has tie-ins with NFTs. I have a friend who's a huge Grizz fan, like the electronica musician Grizz. And what Grizz did is put out NFTs related to shows. So there is one NFT, and I think it may have been around a song and maybe an associated piece of artwork. But the really cool thing about this NFT is it also provided the owner with the ability to, I think, like attend any given show anytime. It's like an all access pass, and being able to get really clever with these things. But then also, hypothetically, you could do that before NFTs, but now, like, hypothetically, the owner of this NFT, maybe eventually they're like, okay, I'm really maxed out on Grizz. Maybe I got enough enjoyment out of this. Maybe they want to transfer it to somebody else on the secondary market. So maybe there's an even bigger Grizz fan that would want to purchase that. So it introduces market dynamics into this. It introduces the ability to have secondary markets. And I think we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible with this kind of thing.
Speaking about dystopias, I'm getting a very fun thought arising here. It could even give you like a way to quantify and to measure cancel culture. Like if your favorite artist is selling like NFTs or of all his work, if the minute he or she gets into a scandal or does something that would get them like canceled on Twitter, then you would actually have a physical, well, not a physical, but you would even have a chart like detailing how much value their career lost through this.
That's a really good point. And yeah, with cancel culture, just the idea of canceling and censoring things, in the crypto context, that's pretty uncrypto. Of course, people can do whatever they want, but it also might reveal that, even though the media really hypes up these incidents where things are canceled or people are canceled. In the end, this could also reveal that maybe that attention actually makes an artist's properties or creations go up because there's more attention. And the media, of course, would never, that doesn't make a great story. The media loves to hype stuff up. So, and again, it really goes back to this idea of empowering artists. And also, imagine if something is canceled, okay, or maybe, maybe your Instagram got canceled because when you were 17, you said something controversial or something. Crypto at the core, as you're well aware, is if done right, like if it's properly decentralized, a network like Ethereum, it's unstoppable. It's censorship resistant. So something like that is a perfect antidote to this, this culture of self-righteous cancellation of anything people don't agree with.
Right. And that also reflects on the whole thing of judge the artist, not the art, because if you do this right, like you say, the art would live forever, right? It would be on the blockchain. It would be uncancelable. The person or the value associated with the person could go down, could go up, but the art itself, it would live forever. And that's a beautiful thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, we're a bit away from the virtual reality thing, but I think we got into a very interesting space because I was also reading your thoughts on Medium, and this is an old article, but I remember reading it back in the day about tribalism in the crypto scene. And well, I think this is a topic that, if anything, has gotten bigger. I think that, if anything, we've gotten more and more tribal with our communities in crypto